year are low birth weight babies, weighing 5.5 pounds or less.
Has she been
At the department to Spedy argue that society is not responsible for sick and hungry children brought into the world by parents who cannot care for them.
Well, do computers really think? To answer that, we'll have to find out what the word think means. Let's see if our computerized friend can help.
My data bank dictionary has many definitions of the verb to think.
What's the first one, please?
To think, to call to mind, to remember.
People can't always recall things the instant they want to, but storing information and recalling it is something electronic computers do remarkably well. In fact, it is this ability that makes their operation automatic. But they can be programmed to simulate human emotion. Getting arty? I'll bet your next definition involves creativity.
Right. To think, to create or devise.
Creativity, a word just as hard to define as thinking, still seems to be a uniquely human capability. The familiar light switch is much closer in time and spirit to the kind of memory computers actually use.
But if society is not responsible, certainly these children are not either. They did not ask to be born poor and sick.
Cottage cheese and tuna fish. And there are dried or canned cooked beans, lentils, dried peas, and nuts.
Do we not give care to them more often?
Not anything that you can do about it.
I think it's close to a national scandal. As long ago as 1915 and before, we were anguishing as a nation over our public responsibilities toward children, and we've not really much progressed beyond that anguish.
As a matter of fact, running through children's programs is an assumption that we're taking good care of our children. In fact,
In Sweden, an American child would have a better chance of living through its first year if it were born in Japan, or England, or Wales, or France, or across the border in Canada, or in 8 other nations. The richest and most technologically advanced country on earth is the United States.
Milk. Milk products like cheese. Meat, fish, and eggs. Fruits and vegetables. Whole grain breads and cereals. These are the kinds of foods that give you calcium, protein, iron, vitamins A, B, and C, and other nutrients.
How can we get clean air? Of the many possibilities, one trend today seems to be for citizens to organize. Some dramatize their local problems by peaceful protest.
We feel that the only answer to air pollution is the people.
Industry isn't going to do anything about the problem, nor are the legislators going to do anything about the problem until the people who vote and the people who buy the products of industry make it quite evident that they won't tolerate the situation any longer.
Large computers use these and other types of memory devices to achieve tremendous storage capacities. The computer being queried by this librarian can give her instant information on the whereabouts of any of the thousands of books in her charge. If remembering were the only definition of thinking, we'd have to put computers in the mental giant category.
It is not to think, to subject to the process of logical thought.
A computer has been used to produce animated pictures as well. One animated film produced by a computer is on the subject of producing animated films on a computer. The technique has already produced some interesting results. Like the pictures, the music you are listening to was also produced by a computer.
Welcome home, daughter.
Why don't you go over there and sit by your mother?
Just sit down there, dear.
Well, it is nice to have you home again, to think of all the places you've been.
How are things?
As long as we have a home, you will always have a welcome here, and I want you to remember that.
She looks like she needs a good, hearty meal.
Didn't I tell you she'd straighten out?
You think you'd like to go back to school or get a job?
She can always have a job with her uncle.
Do you remember daughter's boyfriend, George?
Oh, sure.
But did you know that they were in a terrible automobile accident? The car was entirely destroyed, totaled, I think they call it.
Was he insured?
If you eat regularly and have a wide variety of good food, you'll get all the nutrition your body needs to operate at its best. Good foods haven't changed over the years, but prices have.
The children and youth programs are now being turned over to the states as intended by the original legislation. Poor white people have almost 1.5 times the number of these fragile infants as middle-class people have.
Can relax better, and it's a lot different.
They may choose its own way of delivering the food. In Dallas, it is delivered directly to the families.